Hello students, let's we start the next part of our topic, that is nothing but chain length. Okay, in the last class we have already started the new topic, that is nothing but kinetics of chain reaction, and in that we already saw the meaning of chain reaction, what is the meaning of free radical, what is the meaning of chain termination reaction. Then after we saw the general aspects of the chain reactions, in that first chain initiation step, chain propagation step, chain branching step, chain inhibition steps, and lastly chain termination step. And in that each one we saw the examples of one chlorination of ethane molecule. We already saw the chain reaction, and next part let's be going to do, that is nothing but chain length. Okay, then what is the meaning of this particular chain length? Okay, the chain length is defined as the number of cycles that a radical or an atom can take part in between its formation step. An atom can take part in between its formation step and termination step in a chain reaction. So what is the chain length? Chain length is defined as which is the number of cycles. Okay, experimentally chain length reaction is given by, I'll tell you that it is defined as the number of cycles that a radical or an atom can take part in between which steps. One is formation step and another one is termination step. So the experimentally chain length of a reaction is given by, just to see how the experimentally this can be derived over here or can be given over here. Chain length is equal to rate of disappearance of reaction divided by rate of chain initiation step Okay, so what is the particular chain length? The rate of disappearance of reaction divided by rate of chain initiation step. Thus reaction with slow termination step have long chain length, and these reactions are very fast in giving rise the product. Example, photochemical combination of hydrogen and chlorine. Since the termination step is weak but chain length is very long, as the order of 10 to the power of 6. Here you can give an example. I will write here example over here. Photochemical combination of hydrogen and chlorine. Okay, what is the rate? Order of chain itself. Chain length, I'll write here chain length. Chain length is about 10 to the power of 6. Okay. Okay, let's we start the next part, that is nothing but chain transfer reaction. In some chain propagation step, initial chain carriers are consumed and new chain carriers are generated by the chain reaction with some existing molecular species, and these steps are called as chain transfer steps or reaction. What I have told, in some chain propagation steps, initial chain carriers are consumed and new chain carriers are generated by reaction, okay, by reaction with some existing molecular species, with some existing molecular species, and these steps are called chain transfer steps or reaction, and these steps are called chain transfer steps or reaction. Okay, what I have told about the chain transfer reaction, the steps initial chain carriers are consumed and new chain carriers are generated by the reaction, and meanwhile what will happen, some existing molecular species also get generated over there, and this is called as what, chain transfer reaction. Nothing is there, simply initial get consumed, new get formed, but meanwhile existing molecular species get generated. This is called as what, chain transfer steps or reaction. We can take here one example. I think here two examples are there about, one is photochemical combination of H2 and Cl2, chain initiation, propagation and chain transfer, and another one example is there, chlorination of ethane. Both examples we will see over here. Just to see examples. In that first example, first photochemical or photochlorination of ethane, I'll write here, photochlorination of ethane. Here C, we already know chlorination, Cl radical, isn't it, plus ethane molecule, CH3 single bond CH3. What we will get over here, just to see, in the first chain initiation step, CH3 single bond CH2 radical plus HCl we will get over here. I have already told this particular part how they will get generated over here, and again Cl radical plus CH3 single bond CH3. Next propagation, what will happen over here, CH3 CH2 Cl plus H radical over here. The reaction, consider this is reaction number 1 and this is reaction number 2. The reaction 2, in which initial free radical Cl which will be there, it get consumed and a new free radical H is there get produced over here, isn't it? And here this is called as chain transfer reaction, and the combination of 1 and 2 is called as what, chain link. Here in the first step we took Cl, isn't it, in the first reaction. In the reaction second, what will happen, Cl we have already get here, isn't it, and H is produced over here, new free radical. This is, we call it as a chain transfer, and the combination of these two we call it as a chain link. Okay, chain link, combination of 1 and 2 we call it as a chain link. Now the next example we can take chain transfer here. Second example we will take here photochemical combination of H2 and Cl2. We can take example, chain initiation, what will happen, Cl radicals just get formed over here, isn't it? How they will just H nu I'll write, means when photo light get present on this Cl, generation of chlorine molecules, Cl and Cl, homolytic cleavage. Chain propagation, what will happen, Cl radical plus H2. Again this H2 how get formed over here? H and H, homolytic cleavage, formation of two H radicals. This is one, another one, so H2, isn't it? So again what will form over here? This one H and this one Cl combine together to form HCl, and remaining one H as such over here. And lastly again H plus Cl2, we will get over here HCl plus Cl. This we call it is as a chain transfer. Okay, I hope you have understood. Nothing is there. Generation of radical which is used already get consumed over here. Another one time they get generated, and existing molecular species only they get generated. That we call it is as a chain transfer reaction. Okay, next part let's we deal, that is nothing but chain inhibition. The process in which chain is inhibited by the destruction of product, and hence the rate of formation of product is decreased. Okay, or the steps not leading to the formation of product is called as inhibition reaction or step. I'll write here some easy definition for you all. That is nothing but the step not leading to the formation of products are called chain inhibition step or reaction. Okay, then example for inhibition. Here just take one example. I will take again same example. Chlorination of ethane we have already done. Cl, again CH3, CH2, Cl. Then what we will get over here? CH3, CH2 radical plus Cl2. These two get combined over here. Product won't get, we will, isn't it? And again this is first example. Again we will take here second example. Cl radical plus HCl, what we will get over there? H radical plus again Cl2. Furthermore, sometime another reaction or another reactive substance A may be added to the system to reduce the chain carriers or to inhibit the chain reaction. So we can take here example, or otherwise I will write here reactive after adding. Sometimes after adding reactive substance A, what we will get, just to see over here, Cl, isn't it, plus A, what we will get? ClA. What this particular, this is not reactive. Okay, this is not reactive, and this is also called as radical scavenger. This is also called as radical scavenger. So the species A is often called as radical scavenger. In food industry, this radical scavenger is added to prevent the spoilage due to the oxidation, and these are called as biological oxidant. We have already saw this particular term. This is also called as biological oxidant. Why we call it as a biological oxidant? Because to prevent the spoilage of food, okay, to prevent the spoilage of food due to oxidation, they will add this radical scavenger in the food industry. So these are called as what? Biological oxidant itself. Okay, I hope you have understood this particular chain inhibition. The step which not leading to the formation of product is called as chain inhibition step. Here product will not form at all. And the next part, after adding some reactive, sometimes after adding some reactive substance also we can prevent, or we will not get the product. That is A. This is also called as radical scavenger, and in the food industry they will add to prevent the spoilage of food due to the oxidation. These scavengers they will add, and this is also called as biological oxidant. Okay, I hope you have understood this term. So let's start the next part of our topic, that is nothing but kinetics of branching chain reaction. So it can see that, or it can be observed that in some chain reaction the propagation chain reaction occur through the further generation of chain carriers. Such reaction is called as what? Branched chain reaction. Okay, what we have observed that in some chain reaction the propagation chain reaction occur through, in some chain reaction the propagation chain reactions occur through further generation of chain carriers. This is called as what, or such reaction is called as what? Branched chain reaction. Such reaction are called branched chain reactions. Branched chain reaction. Okay, then a branched chain reaction can be proceed by, first it can be proceed by at a measurable rate within a particular range of temperature. At a measurable rate within a particular range of temperature. Within a particular range of temperature. Then again what I told, the branched chain reaction can be present or can be done or can be proceed at a measurable rate within a particular range of temperature, but below this range of temperature the reaction becomes slow. Measurable temperature only, but below this range of temperature, what will happen? The reaction becomes slow. The reaction become slow. Okay, and what will happen above the range of temperature? Explosion take place. Okay, above the range of temperature, this range of temperature, what will happen? Explosion take place. Explosion take place. I'll write here. Explosion take place. Okay. Explosion take place, giving rise upper and lower explosion limit. Explosion take place by giving upper and lower explosion limits. Upper and lower explosion limits. Okay, for example, when you take a reaction between oxygen and hydrogen, the gas phase reaction, it is proceed at a measurable speed itself when the range of temperature lies between 450 to 600, but below that particular temperature range the reaction becomes slow, and above the temperature range explosion occur, and depending on the pressure limits upper and lower explosion limits can be defined over here. Okay, what we have to here example, we have took the example of hydrogen and oxygen, and here we took a measurable temperature 450 to 600, isn't it? And above that particular temperature explosion may happen, and below the reaction become slow. I'll write that particular example over here. So what will happen over here? In the example, reaction between hydrogen and oxygen can be taken in a measurable speed, and the range of temperature is 450 to 600 degrees Celsius, and below that temperature range the reaction becomes slow in nature, and above the temperature range explosion may happens over there. Okay, let us consider the general gaseous reaction. We will derive an equation over here for this. See, so let's start the next part. Consider the general gaseous chain reaction where R is an reactant, C is an reactive carrier, P is an product, N is the number of chain carriers in the chain propagation step. Thus, R gives rise to C in the chain initiation step. It is where K1 is the rate constant of initiation. Okay, K1 is a rate constant of an initiation. Next, C plus R gives rise to P plus NC. This is a chain propagation. Okay, and where K2 is a rate constant of propagation. Next, the rate of formation of chain carrier is given by, so what the rate of formation of chain carrier which is given by dC upon dt is equal to K1 into R. K1 we have already know that rate constant of initiation where reactant is an R, minus K2 into C into R. K2 rate constant of an propagation where reactants are C and R plus N. K2 C and R, N number of products, C and R are the reactants are itself, minus K3 into C itself. Okay, next, considering steady state approximation for the chain carrier, that is dC divided by dt is equal to 0, what we will get? Just see. Okay, steady or equality, steady state approximation. Considering steady state approximation for chain carrier that is dC dt is equal to 0. So what we will get over here? C. Okay, here C as such K2 into concentration of R plus N K2 into concentration of R. We took C as in common from this whole part. Okay, this particular part is there, no? From that we took C as in common. So what we will get here? K2 R plus N into K2 into R minus K3, okay, is equal to K1 into R, or what we will get over here? Just to see, C concentration of C is equal to K1 into concentration of R divided by this particular term, K2 into concentration of R plus N into K2 into R minus K3. Just to see. Now the next term is equal to K1 into concentration of R as such divided by, here R again is common, so K2 into concentration of R again 1 minus N plus K3. Consider this is equation number 1. Now the next term, in the chain termination reaction, the rate constant K3 may be taken as a sum of two terms, Kw, that is collision against the wall of the container, and Kg, collision with other gas molecules, so that K3 is equal to Kw plus Kg. So equation 1 what will become? Just to see. Okay, I have already told in the chain termination reaction the rate constant K3 is taken as sum of Kw and Kg. Kw collision against the wall of container and Kg is nothing but collision with other gas molecule. So K3 is equal to Kw plus Kg. Consider this is equation A. Putting this equation A value in the equation number 1, what we will get over here? C, concentration of C is equal to K1 into R, concentration of R, divided by K2 into concentration of R, again 1 minus N, which is a constant, plus Kw plus Kg, isn't it? This is our equation number 2. Then where N is equal to 1 only when the chain carrier is generated along the product molecule, and the chain reaction is known as non-branched or stationary chain reaction. What I want to tell you that I'll show you, wait. So what I want to tell is that when N is equal to 1, when only one chain carrier is generated along with the product, the molecules, the chain reaction is known as non-branched or stationary chain reaction. And when N is lesser than 1, what will happen? When when N is more than 1, the chain carriers are generated along with the product molecules, and the chain reaction are known as branched or non-stationary chain reaction. And when is large number of chain carriers are generated along with the product molecule, the chain reaction is known as isothermal chain explosion, and the concentration of initial chain carrier C becomes very large, and what will happen over there? It tends to infinite, and the rate of reaction therefore becomes almost infinite and leading to the explosion. And from equation 2 we can write that, or it is evident that C tends to infinite and where denominator tends to the 0. So what the reaction we will get over here? K2, concentration of R, again 1 minus N plus Kw plus Kg is equal to what? 0 we will get over here. Thus termination from relatively slow rate is very rapid explosion and depend upon the relative magnitude of this particular K2R, 1 minus N, and Kw and Kg. Okay, now let's see the next part of our topic, that is nothing but explosion limit, and which is the last part of our topic, explosion limit. So consider the mixture of hydrogen and oxygen. I have already told in the ratio we will consider the mixture of hydrogen and oxygen, okay, in the ratio 2:1 and kept at 550 to 600 degrees Celsius temperature, and pressure, here I'll write temperature and I'll write here pressure about 2 mmHg. Since the reaction rate varies with pressure, when pressure is increased slowly, the rate of reaction increases slowly, isn't it? So how if you increase the pressure, it will start to explode. I'll show you over here, just to see. Consider this is pressure, this is our rate, okay, rate of reaction. First it will go steady rate, again it will be gone increases, this will leads to the explosion, again it may goes on steady rate, again it leads to the explosion itself. I'll write here explosion, okay, this is also explosion, this is steady, this is steady rate, okay, this leads to the explosion itself. These are the limits, okay. It means what? When you increase the pressure, the reaction leads to the explosion over here, and when you decrease the pressure, reaction just go on slowly or in the steady rate. So next part, so at a certain pressure, consider it is an 50, okay, pressure of 50 mm, I'll write here 50 mm. The gaseous mixture explodes. First it starts to explode over here, and thus limits which at certain explosion occur is called as first explosion limit. Next, under this consideration, Kw and Kg counterbalance K2R 1 minus N. If the reaction is maintained at 200 mm pressure, if consider reaction is maintained at 200 mm pressure, what will happen over here? The reaction proceed at steady rate. Again it will be go at steady rate itself, and again if you increase the pressure, again it leads to the explosion, and the reaction is also reduced, but 100 mm pressure rate increases leading to the second explosion. Here this is 50, this is 100, again this is of 150, and again it is of 200. It means what? Reaction first go on steady rate, and when you increase the pressure it goes on explosion over here. It means pressure increases, limits also goes on increases, and reaction leads to the explosion over here. And along with the pressure and temperature, if you saw the reaction, this is a first limit, again second limit, this is a third limit, it will be just go on. This is first, second, third, it will be just pass the limits over here. This is temperature and this is pressure, and here about our explosion limits over here. And here we end our topic, that is nothing but kinetics of chain reaction. Thank you.